Donald Cooper transforms businesses and business people. He has helped thousands of companies throughout the world to add more real value to their customers' lives and more dollars to their bottom lines. Donald started his business career at the age of 6, sweeping the floor in the family business for 5 cents a day. Long days and low pay. Excellent early training for an entrepreneur. He earned an undergraduate business degree and an MBA from the University of Western Ontario back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Followed by 18 years at Cooper Canada, the family business, Cooper Canada became the world's leading maker of hockey equipment and a Canadian brand icon. If you grew up playing sports in Canada, you've had Donald's last name on some part of your body. And as he said in his session, he doesn't want to know what part. At age 43, Donald left the family business to do something less corporate, reinventing himself as an award-winning fashion retailer. In just 3 years, he fundamentally redefined the customer experience, for which he received 7 awards of excellence for marketing, service, and business innovation. Drawing from his real-life experience as a world-class manufacturer, retailer, and business coach, he now helps companies rethink and reinvent themselves to create compelling customer value, clarity of purpose, and long-term profitability. For his unique business content and compelling presentation style, Donald has been inducted into the Canadian Speaking Hall of Fame. His insights into how to sell more, manage smarter, and grow your bottom line will inform you, challenge you, disturb you, inspire you, and leave you with a new and powerful understanding of your business, your customers, and your life. Please welcome Donald Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you. It says in my introduction, I'm going to disturb you. How many of you came here pre-disturbed? Don't need any help from me. How many of you did grow up playing a sport with my last name on some part of your body? Wow. Don't need to know which part of your body. Okay, there's a clicker here for me somewhere. Where is the clicker? Oh, sorry, it'd be right here. Look at that. I thought it was an electric shaver. Okay. Wow, what a day. What a incredible thing. I spoke for a company a couple of years ago, and it was my second time with them. The first time with them, they had a banquet. And by the way, I am the only thing between you and an open bar right now, so pay attention, we'll get through this quickly. And this conference I spoke at, they had a banquet, an awards banquet, and they gave out plaques and awards. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. Like special effects, 3D. And they had this awards banquet, and they gave out plaques and awards, and people hugged the winners, and they whipped their napkins around and cheered and all. And 2 years later, I was invited back to speak at the same conference for the same company, and I looked at the program, and the awards banquet was not there. And I tracked down the CEO of the company, and I said, "Where's the awards banquet? 2 years ago, it was the hit of the conference." "Oh," he said, "we cut that out. We've trimmed the fat. You know how much plaques cost?" I said, "This is not a frickin' trip to Hawaii. This is a plaque." And they loved it. They cheered. They hugged. They congratulated each other. "And you trimmed the fat." "No, sir, you trimmed your soul." You always get paid first before you do these gigs. We call it courage money. Wow, I mean, it is so incredible to be with people who get it. You guys get it. And here we are today, connect, accelerate, and recharge. Recharge. There's got to be some magic here, folks. Maybe it is a shaver. What do you do with this? You turn it on. I always figured him for a bit of a smartass. Anyway, so here you go, folks. In this little hour together, we are going to play participation poker. Here's how participation poker works. You each have one playing card. And during this hour together, every time you offer an idea, share an idea, or give an example, you will get from one of our runners. Where are our card runners? The Vanna Whites of playing cards, right here, and I have some too. You will get an additional playing card for each idea that you offer or share with the group. And at the end, the dealer group among yourselves that has the best poker hand will win semi-valuable prizes and this glitter ball trophy. Well, it was run over, it's not a ball anymore. Okay, so that's the deal. Participation poker means you participate and you win at poker. Okay, connect, accelerate, recharge. How many of you made some connections here today that you didn't have before? Anybody make some good connections? Anybody get ideas to accelerate your business, your career, your life? Anybody get ideas? Your bosses are watching. Put your damn hands up. How many of you feel recharged about this incredible company? Well, some of you have not put up your hand. Yes, you said yes. I mean, if you're paying attention at all, you got to come away from this connected with this company, connected more with what you do, accelerating what you do, and recharged if you are paying attention. So here's how participation poker works. We have some business kinds of things that we want you to share ideas on, but we also have sports trivia. Cooper, I came from a sports kind of a family, and so we have some sports trivia. Who is this skinny kid for a playing card? Okay, here's how it works. You put your hand up, you say the answer, and if you're right, the card runners run over and give you cards. Run, run. I happen to have a few cards too. Where's our card runners? Okay, bonus question. How many? Okay, what was the team that nobody thinks about that you thought about because you came up with 4? St. Louis. Where's our card people? We need more card people. We have a smarter audience than we thought we had. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, you get the idea. That's how participation poker works. Okay, a little reality check. A little reality check. I have a sign on my office wall. It says, "The beginning of wisdom is the recognition of reality." It's one of my keepers in life. The beginning of wisdom is the recognition of reality. So here's a little reality check. Selling and servicing vehicles in today's market is challenging. Anybody notice that? You don't get a card, just put up your damn hand if you notice that it's challenging. For these reasons, customers are better informed and more demanding. Anybody notice that? Customers are better informed, more demanding. This is not a quiz part. They don't get cards for this. This is I'll wink at you when you, okay. Okay, customers are better informed and more demanding. How about less forgiving? Have you noticed that? Customers are less forgiving. You know what the old rule in baseball and business was? 3 strikes and you're out. You ticked a customer off 3 times before they checked out on you. You know what all the research shows today? One strike and you're out. One strike and you're out. They are unforgiving. We have more and stronger competition. Ever picked up on that one? Not with you. There is no competition, right? God, some people will do anything for a playing card. Okay. Shrinking margins, margin pressure in every industry in the world, including yours, rapid change, increased vehicle complexity, the pickup experience. When people come to pick up a new car, how long a period are you scheduling with each person for when they pick up a truck or a car, a vehicle of any kind? Because it's so complicated. How much time does it take to go over all the stuff on it that they need to know? 6.5 minutes doesn't get you a playing card. My mother-in-law, bless her heart, a couple of years ago at the age of 81, she decided she wanted a new car. So she went and bought a new car all on her own, and when she went to pick it up, apparently they did not give her all the instruction that she required. And 2 days after she picked up the car, she pulled off to the side of the highway and called her daughter, my wife, and said, "My car is on fire." And Wanda, my wife, I always call her Wanda, called her Susan once, didn't go over so well. And Wanda said, "Mom, it's a brand new car, it cannot be on fire." She said, "It's on fire, my seat is burning." And Wanda said, "By any chance, did you push buttons on the dashboard?" She said, "Yeah, there's a lot of buttons. I was just pushing them to see what happens." And my wife said, "Well, congratulations. Right here in the middle of August, you have turned on the heated seats. Your car is not on fire. You can drive home." Obviously, someone did not do a very good job of handing over the car and instructing her about heated seats. You know, when people used to get a new, I'm old enough to remember back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I am old enough to remember when if you didn't get a new car every 2 years, the neighbors started talking about you. And if you didn't get a new car after 3 years, they started bringing over casseroles because clearly you were struggling. And now the average car on the road is what, 8 to 10 years old? So it's 8 to 10 years between when people get a new car. And in the old days, not that much changed between one car and another. So when you got a new car every 2 or 3 years, there wasn't a whole lot new to learn. But with cars advancing the way they are, vehicles advancing the way they are in technology and all the bells and whistles and things, and you're not getting a new one for 6 or 8 or 10 years, boy, you just about have to go to university to learn how to drive that sucker. And so we really need to make sure that that pickup experience and that people are introduced to the service department. All the research indicates that the most important step in starting off the relationship between sales and service in the right way is that when people come to pick up the vehicle, they are taken by the hand and led into the service department and introduced to the service advisors and given a little tour around the shop to see all the specialized equipment and all the great people, and the first appointment is made. And everybody in the industry seems to know that that's the most important thing to get that service relationship started on the right foot. And yet, surveys indicate that in many dealerships, it happens only 20% of the time. The most important thing to get the service relationship going happens only 20% of the time. What's the number in your dealership? And if it's anything less than 100%, I don't think it's satisfactory. You know, every business is tough. Even the beaver business. This is Mr. Beaver. It has to be Mr. Beaver because Mrs. Beaver would have been smart enough to get out of the damn way, right? Women, pay attention better, don't you? Well, you have to. The other half of the population is us. Anyway, this is Mr. Beaver, the symbol of Canada. Think about this. The Americans have the majestic soaring eagle. We have a rodent. What is that? Anyway, this is Mr. Beaver, and Mr. Beaver worked hard all day doing what beavers do for a living, chewing down trees with his front teeth, and at the end of the day, poor Mr. Beaver was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the tree fell over, and Killed him. Ever have a day like that? We've all had days like that. Every business is tough unless you love it. Do you still love what you do? Who you do it for and who you do it with. Because that's a glamorous job. People say, oh, I'd be happy if I had a glamorous job. Glamour's an illusion. It's a marketing trick. The closest we will ever get to having a glamorous job is when we love what we do and who we do it for and who we do it with. People say, oh no, making movies must be glamorous. Anybody here ever watch a movie being made? It is like watching paint dry. It is boring and tedious and often painful. Take 62, take 63, take 64 from a slightly different angle. No, making movies is not glamorous. What's glamorous about the movie business? It's the marketing. It's the Academy Awards. It's the red carpet. And who are you wearing this evening? Oh, well, Dr. Shapiro did these. No, the dress. Do you still love what you do? Because no one's going to love it more than you do. And if you don't love it, you'll never put in the time to keep up with all the new things that are happening with the vehicles and with service. And so every business is tough unless you love it. And unless you have a burning desire to do it better every day. I know lots of people who love what they do, and they love doing it exactly the way they're doing it right now, and they are committed never to changing, growing, learning. And they're in big trouble. Do you still love what you do? Here's a little advice from my Grandma Cooper. You know, most speakers quote famous dead people, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Albert Einstein. I just quote my Grandma Cooper. Grandma talked about business success. She didn't know it at the time, but she was. And Grandma used to tell us, say to our dysfunctional family, which makes us no different from your family, Grandma used to say we need to get everyone singing from the same hymn sheet. Who was lucky enough to have a grandma like that? Great wisdom and great cookies. When you're a kid, the cookies have more appeal. But as you get older, it's the wisdom. So Grandma, speaking on business success without even knowing it, used to say we need to get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet in sales and parts and service and leasing and new cars and used cars and trucks and so many dealerships that I've worked with across Canada, so many different brands. What they have is this terrible culture of us and them. Us and them. We're us, they're them. And I sense that you guys just don't have that. And that's good, because us and them is a killer. We are all in the same boat. In every business, there's only two kinds of employees. There's promise makers and promise keepers. Who are the promise makers? Sales, marketing, advertising. Where's my promise makers? Where's my promise maker people? You're not going to get a card, just put your damn hand up. And where's the promise keepers? That would be everybody else, right? And so the question is, are the promise makers and the promise keepers all singing from the same hymn sheet? And I get the sense that you are, in more than in any other dealership that it's playing. Now everybody knows. Okay, so where's my card runners? For absolutely no bonus whatsoever, Eddie Shack could neither what or what? Yeah, you don't get any other cards. It's just you get to impress the people sitting next to you. Eddie Shack could neither read nor write. It says in my introduction that I went to the University of Western Ontario Business School back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So what that means is that I'm old enough to remember the good old days when you could make a good living being mediocre in any line of work. You could be a mediocre anything and still make a pretty good living years ago. Anybody think it's that way today? Absolutely not. The bar is too high, everything is too competitive. Or as I like to put it, if we're trying to succeed in business today by being mediocre, once your customers have been to Disney World, you're screwed. They've seen amazing. Mediocrity is no longer an option. So we have to keep getting better. And here I have a little chart, a little graph kind of a thing that talks about the 2 ways to make our business better. To make your department better, to make your career better. So the gray box at the bottom, that's where we are now. It's where you are now in your department, in your dealership, in your part of the business. That's where you are now. Level number 1 of business improvement. Where could we be? By copying the best. The best within this family. The best in Canada, the best in North America, the best in the world. Where could we be in the thing that you do in this amazing company? Where could we elevate ourselves to? By copying the best. It's called benchmarking and best practices. They have a buzzword for everything now. Benchmarking and best practices. You can go to a 2-day seminar on benchmarking and best practices. $2,000 they charge for a 2-day seminar on benchmarking and best practices. Do you know what it actually means? Find out who does it best and copy them. They stretch that out for 2 freaking days. Where could we be by copying the best? What are the best practices? How do we make sure that as a family that we are sharing best practices, that we're learning best practices from all the other businesses like us anywhere in the world? Where could we be? And then number 2, level of business improvement. Where could we be by doing what has never been done before? Where could we be by doing whatever? Why not? Why not? And I love that why not stuff. And I told the group that I spoke to this morning a little bit about the ladies' fashion store that I created when I fired myself from Cooper, Canada, and left there to go and do something on my own, and I accidentally became a retailer of ladies' fashions. I had no experience with ladies' fashions. I'd never bought ladies' clothing. I'd never sold ladies' clothing. I'd never even, a couple of times. It was Halloween. One of them was Halloween. Anyway, so I sat down and I thought and felt what it was like to be a woman buying clothing. I got in touch with my feminine side. What's the sign on the front door of every ladies' clothing store? No food or drinks. Buzz off. Go away. So I built a beautiful big mahogany drink bar, and we serve 7 kinds of herb tea, 2 kinds of fruit drink in one of those jet spray machines that they have in food courts in the mall. And so 7 kinds of herb tea, 2 kinds of coffee, 2 kinds of fruit drink, spring water in real mugs. We wanted people to drive for miles to come and shop in our store. If people drove for miles to come and visit you in your home, what's the first thing you'd offer them? A beverage. We're all in the hospitality industry. People think restaurant, hotel, resort, whatever. That's the hospitality industry. We are all in the hospitality industry. So we offered free drinks. And I know some of you are getting excited to hear the sound of ice falling. Pay attention here. Anyway. So we offered free drinks. And you know what our competitor said? Our competitor said, you can't do that. Women are slobs. These were women who owned clothing stores, and that was their opinion of their customers. Well, they said, women are slobs. They'll spill the drink on your clothes. They'll destroy your inventory. 13 years of free drinks being offered, less than $200 worth of clothing spilled on in 13 years. We simply had it dry cleaned and dropped it off at our local women's shelter. See, it wasn't an issue except in the tiny minds and tiny hearts of our competitors. That's what we called our competitors, the tiny minds and tiny hearts. Bless them all. Second sign in every ladies' clothing store, it's on the change rooms. Limit 3 items in the change room, you crook. Yeah, we don't like you, we don't understand you, we don't trust you, but we want you to spend money here. Oh man, that's just stupid. Our sign said, please take as many items in the change room as you wish. And women took 27 items in the change room and usually bought 23 of them. We put a security tag on everything. We're nice, we're not stupid. I'm not asking anyone to be stupid, but nice goes a long way. And then we had electric reclining massage chairs for whom in a ladies' clothing store? Husbands, boyfriends, and nursing mothers. Yeah, you nurse a baby in an electric massage chair. It is self-burping. No store in the world offered this. And then our customer washrooms, we had change tables with 3 sizes of free diapers, diaper wipes, and cream for mothers in distress. Frickin' avalanche over there. Okay, so, and you know what our competitor said? You can't do that. The odd woman will steal a diaper. And I said, we got that covered. We don't let odd women in our store. I have no idea what that even means, but we all need to lighten up. We all need to lighten up. And I was walking through the store one day. I got a tap on my shoulder. And I turned around. It was an older lady. And she said, do you work here? I said, it's being discussed. We've all had days like that. She said, I was just in the washroom. She said, the diaper thing blows me away. She said, I'm 75 years of age. I'm not going to need diapers for another 10 years. But she said, I can remember back to when I was 25 years old and I had little kids and I needed diapers and nobody was there for me. She put her arm around me and she said, and I love you for it. And the question is, what are we doing that no one has had the courage and creativity to do that our customers would love us for? Then we had a pirate ship play area for kids in the center of the store to get the kid off the leg, because what I realized was a lady cannot try on a pair of pants in a change room with a child laminated to her leg screaming to go home. You got to delaminate the kid. I said, I'll get the kid off the leg so she can try on the pants. I'll spend $54,000 to get the kid off the leg. Build a pirate ship play area. I walked by the ship one day and I overheard a 5-year-old say to his mother, Mommy, can we live here? And I know your business is different, but the questions are always the same. Do our customers want to live with us? Do they want to live with us? Do they want to keep coming back? And every single one of those things I just told you about, no one had ever done before. No one had had the creativity and the courage to do. And I just said, why not? Why not? What did Rick's Grill used to be? Now this is a no-brainer. It was a water. Where's my card runners? So mediocrity is no longer an option. It's a matter of becoming famous. We need to become famous. And here's an example I used this morning with the small group. Here's a business that has become famous. Yard House Restaurants. It's a chain across America, and they become famous for having the world's largest selection of draft beer. They have 150 kinds of draft beer. Is that more work than offering 6 kinds? Yeah, but 6 doesn't make you famous. 6 makes you mediocre and boring. And 150 makes you famous. They even have gluten-free beer for drunken celiacs. There's a niche market. And they have beer and ice cream floats. Beer and ice cream floats. Who's gagging here? I'm gagging over that one. I don't know how many they sell, but it gets them talked about. It gets them texted about and tweeted about. It makes them famous. We all need to do stuff that makes us famous. Speaking of famous, what about those darn long pants called card runners? Which NHL team was most famous for wearing the Cooperall? That's the bonus question. Put your hand up if you didn't get a card. We need card runners here. The other team, Philadelphia Flyers, was most famous for wearing the long pant. The other team was the Hartford Whalers. We can all make a difference. There's your cards. We can all make a difference. We can all make a difference. Okay, folks? Work with me here. The bartender's getting ready. We can all make a difference. The biggest mistake we can make is to think that we can't. We can all make it. Here are two really neat things, examples of employees who figured stuff out and spoke up and made a difference. Costco. Costco is the largest seller of cashew nuts in North America. And an employee noticed when they were receiving at their store all these pallets of cashew nuts, the jars were round and there was a lot of wasted space on the pallet. And this employee said, you know, if we could put our cashew nuts in square jars, we could get 50% more jars on each pallet, which would save 600 truckloads of shipping expense a year just on cashew nuts alone. And it was not somebody at head office that came up with this. It was someone in the back of a Costco store somewhere that just observed the wasted space on the pallet because round jars touch each other just a couple of places, and square jars you could get more on a pallet. That's brilliant. But here's one. This is one of the goofiest ones in the world. Marriott Hotels now saves $2 million a year by switching to bacon of uneven lengths. Their quality spec worldwide was that all the bacon has to be exactly the same length. So they paid a premium. Their suppliers of bacon said, we have to trim the bacon to make it all the same length, and we have scrap. So you have to pay a higher price for your bacon all the same length. But then what did the supplier do with the bits they cut off the bacon to make it all the same length? They cooked it up and sold it to Marriott as bacon bits. The suppliers loved it. But all of a sudden, some employee at a Marriott hotel woke up and smelled the coffee and said, you know what? Nobody ever actually comes down to breakfast with a flat iron and a measuring tape. No, because the bacon curls up, right? So you got to iron it out and then measure it. And nobody does this. So this is a foolish, stupid waste of money. Why don't we just say, we're going to have bacon of different lengths? They save $2 million because an employee observed over 15 or 20 years working in the breakfast room at Marriott that nobody actually shows up with a flat iron and a measuring tape and says, I'm out of here, the bacon's not all the same length, this hotel has gone to hell. And nobody gives a damn. So we could all make a difference. It's a matter of keeping our eyes and our ears and our minds open. We could all help make Davis more extraordinary. And anybody, just an idea to share on what you've done in your part of the business, your area of service, to serve better or to be more efficient. Something you have come up with, suggested, that has worked, either to serve customers better or to operate more efficiently. Any examples? Because apparently you can get a card for this. Oh, you're real good at what the water tower turned into. Yes, nice and loud.
After hours hotline.
After hours hotline. Beautiful. Do you know that Butterball turkeys on Christmas Day, the Butterball Turkey Company has mothers, women who are used to cooking turkeys, on helpline phones on Christmas morning, taking calls from people like my wife, who at 56 years of age didn't know how to cook a turkey and didn't want to call her mother because her mother would never let her forget that at 56 years of age she doesn't know how to cook a turkey, so she doesn't want to call her mother. She didn't have to. She called the hotline. On Christmas morning, they had hundreds of women across America answering the phone, taking phone calls and bailing out people like my wife. That is amazing, and you've done it. After hours hotline. Anything else that you've done to improve the customer? Just ideas that we've had. Yes, over here. Nice and loud.
We've got aprons made in the detail department so we don't get ourselves wet. It's waterproof. It is scratch proof against the vehicles.
Beautiful.
And we also have different size pockets, so when we're going around the vehicle, we don't want to set anything on the vehicle, especially in the vehicle. We have all different size pockets, so we can put all our products in, our razors, our razor blades, our cleaning stuff that we don't, and the tabs there that we can hang in
Yep.
the pockets. Yeah.
Fabulous. So we have one idea about how to improve customer service, one idea about how to operate more efficiently while also making sure we don't scratch vehicles. The fact is there's so much that we can do. Another quiz. Number of Stanley Cups won by the Oilers. Number of Stanley Cups won by the Flames. now. Okay, card runners, keep going. The answer, 5 and 1. 2. 2?
That was a win.
Thought they won one. Contested. We don't count contested. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Our commitment to deliver extraordinary customer value and experiences. What is our commitment? We don't want goals, targets, aims, and objectives. We want commitments. Let's talk about commitments from now on. No more conversation about goals, targets, aims, and objectives. They're all weak and wishy-washy words. I spend my life checking out websites for clients that I'm working for, and I go on these websites and it says, we aim to do this, we aim to do that. Nobody cares what we aim to do. They want to know what we commit to do. So we need to change our language and talk about our commitments. To attract and own customers in automotive sales and service, I think that it's a simple 1, 2, 3 process. Number 1, we have to create trust in our integrity. Number 2, confidence in our ability and our value. And then we need to make sure that we have the visibility. I think that's the key 3 things. Trust in our integrity, confidence in our ability and our value, and visibility. There's no point in being the best if we're also the best kept secret. No point in being the best if we're also the best kept secret. So we got to have the visibility. But trust in our integrity, confidence in our ability and our value is the basis on which this industry can grow. I mentioned this morning in my little pep talk at the beginning. The biggest myth in business, there's no such thing as customer loyalty anymore. And I said to you that people are loyal to what's best for them, or what they assume is best for them. Put your hands up. Where's the card runners? Here's a little insight. Why people buy and why they don't buy. You could fill this room with all the books written on this subject. And I've spent years thinking about this, and what I figured out, it's not all that complicated. People buy stuff to make some stress in their life go away. Everything we buy, every product we buy, every service we buy, every relationship that we enter into is to make some physical or emotional stress in our life go away. We buy groceries. We buy groceries to make what physical stress go away? Hunger. Anybody in this room ever buy a grocery item to make emotional stress go away? Ice cream, chocolate, creme caramel, firm but yielding. Here's the deal. I give you money and you make my stress go away. Isn't that the deal? I give you money and you make my stress go away. Our only value to any other human being on this planet is in our ability to make some other stress go away. How many of you have a little example for us of a business that has taken money from you and given you more stress than you had before you gave them your money? You gave them money and they gave you stress. Yes, sir. Nice and loud. Pardon? Phone companies. The Oilers. Give them 2 cards. One for the right answer and the other for being slightly pathetic. Anyway, so... Okay. It's the city of champions. And of course, then there's Calgary, their slogan, the city just down the road from the city of champions. Anywho, I'm going to piss everybody off before I'm finished. Now, okay. How about Air Canada? You know what their slogan is? We're not happy until you're not happy. Okay. Anyway, service can be a simple act of kindness. There's a collision repair shop in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, that puts a rose and a thank you note on the car seat for female customers when they come to pick up their vehicle. That's kind of cool. I wanted to use this slide, in a speech that I did for the Royal Bank Mortgage Division, because I wanted to remember to say, for you mortgage brokers, what do you do to thank customers after the deal closes and people move into their new house? Send them a little thank you for doing the mortgage with you. And I wanted to use this, and the Royal Bank people said, oh, you can't use that. Because, well, 2 reasons, they said. Because when the woman gets in her car and at the collision repair shop and she sees a rose and a little thank you note from the repair shop, she might feel that she's being stalked by the people at the collision repair shop. And the second reason I couldn't use it was they do it for women, but they don't do it for men. And I said, now wait a minute here. I got to tell you, if I go to pick up my car at the collision repair shop and there's a rose and a note for me from the guys at the collision repair shop, that's pretty much stalking. They didn't laugh. Note to self, don't work for the Royal Bank. Anyway, so here's another great example of customer service. These are the customer washrooms on the Great Wall of China. I do not make this up. His and hers washrooms on the Great Wall of China. You need to go to the bathroom? Promise I won't peek. That's customer service. Are we creating customers or fans? Customers give us business. Fans help us grow our business because they tell everybody else. The best example in the world is Microsoft and Apple. Microsoft has customers. Apple has fans. Every time they launch a new product or open a new store, people line up for hours. The only time people line up for Microsoft was to return Vista. And another avalanche. And you know how you know that you have a fan? They actually use the word love. They actually use the word love. I love you guys. I love the way you look after me. I love the way you communicate with me. I love the way you make sure I don't forget important service dates and times and mileages. And I love the way you pick up my vehicle and do the work that needs to be done and return it to me or whatever it is that they need. And they use the word love and you own them. You got them. What about joy and gratitude? People come to us for vehicles and service plus joy and gratitude. In a marketplace that is so competitive as automotive, you know, joy and gratitude on the long run could be your sustainable competitive advantage. I fly about 150 times a year and I go through airport security. I don't think airport security is a fun job. So I've just self-appointed vice president in charge of fun for the whole world, trying to make people smile. So I go through airport security. They ask you two questions when you go through airport security. They point at your carry-on and they say, do you have a laptop in there? And I take out Larry, the laptop, and I go, hello, Larry, the laptop. They say, you have a name for your laptop? I go, yeah, he's Larry. I'm on the road 220 days a year with my laptop. May as well be on a first-name basis. Second question. What's the second question they have? They point down here. Do you have anything in your pockets? I go, no, my first wife got everything. Technically not true. My second wife got quite a bit too, but you don't need to confuse them with the details. And they laugh. And they remember. Because three months later, I'll go through the same airport. They point to go, look, there's the guy whose first wife got everything, and they laugh again. Now, I still get the full body cavity search, but it's from people I feel so much closer to. I make them laugh, and they remember. And then what about the gratitude? When I collect everything up after it's been x-rayed, before I turn to go to my gate, I turn and I look at them, I look them in the eye, and I say, thank you for keeping us safe. And you know what they always say? Nobody ever thanks us. Nobody ever thanks us. Joy and gratitude are so powerful. Ritz-Carlton is one of the most expensive luxury hotel chains in the world. And so, you know, what's their brand? Their brand is sort of their slogan. That's their logo there. Sorry, not slogan, logo. That's the lion and the crown and Ritz-Carlton. And so, you know, that's what they are. Plus, you know, fabulous food and incredible rooms. And that's, on the surface, that's who they are. That's what they are. But they're also this amazing other thing. They have a soul. They have a soul. The Hearn family visited the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Amelia Island, Florida, and the mother and father and their little son, and their son had a cuddly toy, who has a son or a grandchild that has a favorite little cuddly toy that they can't go to sleep without. And it's this is supposed to be a giraffe. It's a pretty pathetic looking giraffe, but anyway, his name is Joshy. And the Hearn little boy, when they left the hotel, he left behind his Joshy. When they got back home and they unpacked, no Joshy. And he didn't want to go to sleep at night. And he'd never gone to sleep without his Joshy. And his father said, well, Joshy needed to stay at the hotel and have a little bit longer stay. Extended vacation. He was tired. And then the dad called the hotel and he said, did you find my son's little stuffed animal? And they said, yes, we did. And he said, well, I told a little lie. I said he stayed behind because he needed a little vacation. And so here's our address, and if you could send it to us, that would be really nice. So anyway, 2 days later, by courier came Jossie with a little photo album of Jossie's extended vacation at the Ritz-Carlton. Jossie visits the spa. Jossie relaxes by the pool. Jossie, after a day of relaxing, he assisted us in loss prevention department. He helped patrol the hotel and keep our guests safe. And they even made up a security card, loss prevention card for Jossie. And it was all in the box with Jossie. That's having a soul. And yes, you can have the great brand name, and you can have the great logo, and you can have the great vehicles, and you can have the great whatever stuff, but it's your soul, which we saw today. 3 awards, 3 legacy awards. Nobody does this stuff. Oh no, we're not doing it. Do you know how much plaques cost? I wanted to smack the guy. Anyway, this is soul. This is what business is really all about. Share one special or joyful thing you've done that wowed a customer, that delighted anybody. One thing you did to go out of your way just to wow and delight a customer. Anybody. There's a card in this for you, nice and loud. Stayed late for somebody. Yes, card over here. Yes, nice and loud.
Full touch-up paint all the way around the vehicle.
Sorry? Full touch-up paint all around the vehicle. Anybody else? This is what blows people away. Yes, this is what legends are made of. A 3-hour delivery to somebody's grandma. Brilliant. Another sports trivia quiz. What happened on October 23rd, 1993? Anyway, get your cards. You're out of cards. Okay, we're out of cards. That's never happened before. You guys are smart. Well, you got a few more. Okay, well, we got a couple more questions. Be the caring coach. This is what your customers want. They're confused, they're stressed, they're running out of time, and they need you to be their caring coach. And here's my favorite example. It's from Home Depot. They went into the carpet business in a big way a few years ago, and where their research indicated that people knew very little about carpet and nothing about underpad, so they printed up these 8.5 by 11 marketing pieces. This is brilliant, taking the mystery out of buying carpet, a helpful guide to an intelligent purchase. That is just brilliant marketing, taking the mystery out of buying carpet, a helpful guide to an intelligent purchase. So what's a mystery to your customers in sales and in service, in parts? So what are they mystified about, and how can you take the mystery out? What would that kind of a document look like in your part of the business? Taking the mystery out of buying the right vehicle for you, taking the mystery out of vehicle service, taking the mystery out, a helpful guide to an intelligent purchase. This is brilliant, brilliant marketing. And by the way, it's not new. This is a postcard that was sent in 1928 to Chester Bjorngard of Max Bass, North Dakota, from his General Motors Ford dealership. Sorry, because it's a Model A. Ford dealership. This was 1928. A dealership doing a service reminder postcard. But look at some of the prices. Dear sir, we're writing this letter to you today because we want to help you get your money out of your Model T. It's still as good a car as the day the new Model A Ford was announced, blah, 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 blah. The Model T Ford is still used by more people than any other automobile. 8 million are in active service. So anyway, it gets down here. New fenders, for example, cost from $3.50 to $5. It's a long time ago. You remember, right? Not quite. Okay, so. Oh, but there's a labor charge of $1 to $2.50. Oh my God. Tuning up the motor and replacing the communicator case. When's the last time you sold a car with a communicator case? I have no idea what that is. Brush and vibrator points. So I got more of an idea about that. But anyway, costs only $1 with a small charge for material. Brake shoes can be installed and emergency brakes equalized for a labor charge of only $1.25. And we call that the good old days. Wow. Anyway, the fact is that some dealerships back in even 1928 were proactively, that's the secret, proactively communicating with customers. Anyway, share one idea on how you've coached customers to make wise choices. We have only a few cards left. How you've coached customers. Be the caring coach. Any example of how you have coached customers? Yes. Warranties. Coach them on what a warranty is and why you need it and whatever. Anything. Card over here. We got a few cards left. Yes, nice and loud.
Tire pressure.
Tire pressure. Key. Important.
Over here.
And not so well understood. Yes, over here. Yes. Nice and loud. Information about protection packages. My pharmacist does that too. Okay, so bonus quiz. Who's the only NHL player to receive the most penalty minutes in one season and then receive the Lady Byng Trophy for being the most gentlemanly player in another season? Anybody? This is a tougher one. Give them a card. So if we don't have any cards left, someone who has a card, give them a card, because nobody ever gets that. But you are absolutely right. It was Stan Mikita. And you know why he switched from being the meanest player, most penalized player, to getting the Lady Byng Award? Because his 4-year-old daughter said to him when he came home one night after a game, "Daddy, why are you so mean when you play hockey?" And that grabbed him right in the heart. Besides, he was not a very big guy and he was getting beat the hell up, being so rough. But anyway, last chance for cards. One new thing you commit to do to increase sales, to wow customers, or improve efficiency. One thing as a result of your day here, together as a group, as a family, one thing that you commit to do to increase sales, wow customers, or increase efficiency. Anybody been thinking? Yes, we have a hand up. Yes.
To close the loop, distribute meetings weekly that include our sales teams, our service teams.
Close the loop by having regular weekly meetings with everybody on the team. No more us and them, right? Yeah, perfect. Yes, over here? Work as a team. Absolutely. Team spells together, everyone achieves more. Yes? Communication is one of the biggest issues in every business. So here's to another great 25 years. This has been an extraordinary day. I thank you for letting me be part of it. Here is to another 25 years. Why not? Thank you. Okay, now, thank you very, very much. You guys have been absolutely incredible. It has been an honor to be with you, and just keep it going.
Thank you very much, all. If you can all just stay at your seats for a moment, I'd like to invite David up to do the blessing, please.
Before I do that, because I got a mic in my hand, I'm going to say something extra. And I got to spend 2 days here, and I got to spend the day with a lot of wonderful people, and it was so good to be here at the car conference. And I thought that it would only be appropriate. Talking to Mr. Cooper, he mentioned he works with 40 different industries, 40. And he has never seen anything like the Davis Automotive Group, and I firmly believe that we take it for advantage. And so I really feel that for Mr. and Mrs. Davis, John and Barb here, and their wonderful sons, and all the other dealers together. We ought to get on our feet and give them an excellent round of applause.
We're going to wrap up the evening while everybody's eating. Just a few people are starting to leave, and dessert's going to be here shortly, so we just wanted to wrap everything up. I think we'd like to start by thanking the Coast Hotel for being a great host of our event. Mike and his team have had several functions here. LA chefs do a fantastic job with the meal. This is no different than any other one that they've done. It's been fantastic. So if we give everybody a round of applause. We also want to thank some sponsors that we had. This event wouldn't have been possible without them. You can see their signs around the room that acknowledge those people. But Wakefield Castrol, who's our oil supplier, Quorum, who everybody uses on a day-to-day basis, has been a great partner of ours for many years now. Shell, Gasoline, and Myers-Norris Penny, our accountants. First Canadian group of companies are the guys that we sell their insurance, life and disability insurance in our finance offices on finance contracts. And LL Renaissance are the guys that we insure all of our liability insurance and things with. So big thanks to those folks. Without them, this isn't possible. The trade show concept was Sean Nelson's brainstorm, and I guess from concept to fruition was nothing short of amazing. We weren't quite sure if we could pull it off with the space, and Sean was confident the whole time that he could get it done. So thanks to Sean for that, but also thanks to all those people who took the time to come here. So the Davis Auto Group booth, Ultimate Auto Care, Cox Financial, Good Life Fitness, Procom, Wakefield, Mac Tools, and Marlin Travel, and Quorum all set up, and Shaw Communications. So big thanks to all those guys. The workshop presenters, we've had great feedback from the workshops, so big thanks to the people who made the effort to get here. Most of them live a long ways away. So Wally Evdokimoff from the college, Doug Kirk came all the way from Ireland just to do this. And then Rick and Kara from MGI came from Edmonton to do the generational leadership and teamwork sessions. And then, of course, last but not least, Donald Cooper. Thanks to all those folks.
Okay, we'd also like to thank everybody for making the effort to come here today. Some people flew, some people took buses, some people just came a little further than they normally do to work in Lethbridge here, but everybody took the time, made the time. I know it's easier to go to the store and do what you do every day, but took the time to register, took the time to come out and learn something and connect with our group. So we really appreciate the effort that everybody put in. Travel safe home. I know there's lots of people still that have a journey home yet, so travel safe, and thanks for making the effort. And then the Davis Auto Group staff for putting the entire event on. I think maybe whoever, when we came up with the idea that we should have a conference, it certainly didn't, I didn't know that we could get this type of conference and have this good of an impact on our entire staff as we actually did. And I give all that credit, or we give all that credit to Sean and the Davis Auto Group team. You know, a couple of the names for sure that need to be mentioned are Sean and Cindy, although all the rest of them helped a ton. Phil and Jordan and Logan and Paige. I shouldn't have started because I'm going to forget somebody, but they all, everybody put an extraordinary amount of effort in, you know, on all different, you know, times of day and days and weekends and all that kind of stuff to put this together and to produce this all ourselves. When you look at from the signs to the, you know, I mean, they went out and got the booths and the curtains and all the stuff that they've produced, and the videos and all that stuff was all produced in-house, which is pretty special for a group of people to be able to do that. So I just want to say thanks very much to them for their effort. And in closing, I would just like to say, you know, of all the things that we talked about over the last couple of days and all the things that we learned, I think there's so much to take away. And if we don't execute on some of those things, then it's just information. So, you know, one of the things that I would like to challenge us with is what 5 things can the Davis Auto Group do at every store? And they don't, you know, when you talk about trimming bacon, or you talk about shipping stuff or things like that, and maybe there's 5 things that we can come up with that if you're at a Davis Auto Group store that you know that only we offer, and it's exclusive to us, and they're good ideas. They don't have to be expensive, but they have to be something that impacts the customer. So I think that's something that we should work on as a group, and hopefully this time next year we can say that all of our stores have these 5 things. And I don't know what they are yet, but I think we can, as a group, come up with those things. So thanks again for a great day, and enjoy your evening. You're welcome to stick around. The bar will be open for a while, and we'll be here for a little while. So thanks, and enjoy yourself.